Hello learners to my teaching platform Economics with Nilanjana.
नेक्स्ट कमिंग टू डेमोग्राफी। इंडियाज डेमोग्राफिक प्रोफाइल सिर्फ इकोनॉमी इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर पढ़ने से काम नहीं होता है, कुछ सोशल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर भी चाहिए बिकॉज इकोनॉमिक्स डिपेंड अपॉन सोशल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर टू अ ग्रेट एक्सटेंट। डेमोग्राफी इज वन ऑफ देम। लेट्स सी। Demography. Literacy rate, 16%. Female literacy, 7%. Rampant means very frequent. Rampant water and airborne diseases. You know, there used to be a lot of famines. There used to be epidemics like cholera, typhoid, and in these types of diseases, people used to die at that time because penicillin was not invented at that particular point of time. So as a matter of fact, people used to die in many of the diseases which are very, very easily cured nowadays. Okay, and then airborne diseases like smallpox, chickenpox, people used to die in all those diseases. Okay, waterborne diseases. So this is number 1, number 2, number 3. So average longevity was only 32 years. And the most important thing is the demographic transition. So see, till here there is no problem. Literacy rate was 16%, female literacy 7%, can't expect much because it was a very backward country. Rampant waterborne and airborne diseases, obviously what happened as a result, the average longevity of the people were only 32 years now, which is around 69 or 70 years probably. So basically 32 years, just think about it, okay? And the last thing which is very important over here is the demographic transition. Let's discuss about the demographic transition, because demographic transition is not only have you people noted down this part, children? Please do. Okay, I'm just scrolling it upward. We are going to discuss about demographic transition. Let's write it like this. 1921. This was the year of demographic transition. Previous, afterwards. Population growth rate was steady. This is your answer. If you write it like this, you get 3 out of 3. As I told you, अगर demographic profile पूरा 4 मार्क्स का आता है, आप सब कुछ लिख देते हो, सब पॉइंट्स सब, लेकिन उसमें छुपा बैठा है एक छोटा सा 2 या 3 मार्क का क्वेश्चन जो है demographic transition. ठीक है, ट्रांजिशन कब हुआ था? 1921. ट्रांजिशन क्यों? दिस इज एन ईयर ऑफ चेंज. that, population was fluctuating. Population was fluctuating before 1921. Why? There was high birth rate, high death rate. जितना पैदा हो रहा है उतना मर भी रहा है. Say a couple has 15 children, but at the end of the day, only 4 survives. So population was कभी ऊपर कभी नीचे. It was a complete fluctuation situation. But after 1921, population growth rate was steady. It was just, it was very slow, but it was just the graph was going up like that. Not like that. No, that was happening before. Okay, this is because high birth rate is still maintained. Gradually declining death rate. Death rate थोड़ा थोड़ा कम होने लगा. You know what happened during this 1910 to 1920? The penicillin was discovered. The antibiotics actually. Then quinine. Okay, that is malaria medicine. That was also invented. Then vaccination. Louis Pasteur's vaccination was done for some of the specifically for smallpox and all. These medical developments happened in the world, and somehow in India, probably only the rich, but some of the people could afford that medical inventions. So basically after 1921 there was a steady growth rate in the population. So that is the reason why 1921 is the year of transition of our demography, and this is also known as a result 91. Let's see it like this. Demographic transition को अच्छे से देखते हैं. So this particular year is also known as year of great divide. Because it divided the pre-1920s and post-1920s population growth structure. Understood, children? See the working notes in the board. This is very important. This entire design, this mind map itself is a 3-marker answer or a 2-marker answer. वो जो बड़े-बड़े क्वेश्चन में छोटे-छोटे क्वेश्चंस छुपे हुए रहते हैं, this is one of them. If you have done it, then we will move on to the next. Next, let's come to तुम्हारा क्या क्या हो गया? देखो, एग्रीकल्चर हो गया, हमारा ये हो गया, इंडस्ट्री हो गया, ऑक्यूपेशनल स्ट्रक्चर हो गया, डेमोग्राफी हो गया. नाउ फॉरेन ट्रेड. लेट्स सी. Foreign trade during the British rule. On eve of इसको हम 3 तरह से करते हैं. 3 aspects आते हैं. That is direction of trade, volume of trade, and composition of trade. We are going to study something very unusual here, no? Direction. Direction का मतलब है कौन से देश के साथ हमारा ट्रेड रिलेशन है. तो ऑब्वियसली ब्रिटिश डोमिनेटेड इकोनॉमी, ब्रिटिश कॉलोनी है, तो ब्रिटिश के साथ ही होगा. दे मोनोपोलाइज्ड आवर ट्रेड. But we have small trade relationship with Sri Lanka as well as Iran. Like you find in your NCERT Persia and Ceylon. They are the old names for Iran and Sri Lanka respectively. Next is volume. बहुत ज़्यादा पैसों का ट्रेड होता था. Huge amount of raw materials used to go to Britain at quite a cheap rate, and the Britishers sold their manufactured goods in India even without duty at an exorbitant price. As a result, what happened? Our wealth started getting transferred to England in terms of gold coins or bullions. This is called economic drain. जैसे जब हमारे जीनियस बच्चे, इंटेलिजेंट बच्चे बाहर काम करने चले जाते हैं, टेकीज चले जाते हैं बाहर, हम लोग कहते हैं ब्रेन ड्रेन. एग्जैक्टली इकोनॉमिक ट्रेड। हमारे यहाँ से वेल्थ ट्रांसफर होना शुरू हो गया, ट्रांसफर ऑफ बुलियंस फ्रॉम इंडिया। बट इतना ज्यादा वॉल्यूम में हमारा रॉ मटेरियल्स जाता था कि एट द एंड ऑफ द डे ना रॉ मटेरियल्स कम प्राइस में बेच के भी जितना पैसा मिलता था उतना फिनिश्ड गुड्स का अमाउंट, प्राइस अमाउंट भी नहीं था। तो हमारे पास हमेशा एक्सपोर्ट सरप्लस ही रहता था। बट व्हाट डिड द ब्रिटिश डू विद द एक्सपोर्ट सरप्लस? ब्रिटिश इकोनॉमी था तब, इंडियन इकोनॉमी थोड़ी ना था, ब्रिटिश कॉलोनी था। तो व्हाट डिड द ब्रिटिश डू विद दोस एक्सपोर्ट सरप्लस? दे फंडेड देयर वॉर्स, जो सारी दुनिया में जंग लड़ रहे हैं, सो हमारे पैसे से लड़ रहा है वो एक्सपोर्ट सरप्लस को लेके, और जितने सारे अपना अफसर जजेस बिठा के रखा है पूरा एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन को, उसको तनख्वाह देने में चला जाता था। ओके, सो दे यूज्ड ऑल दीज थिंग्स फॉर फाइनेंसिंग देयर वॉर एफर्ट्स इन डिफरेंट पार्ट्स ऑफ द वर्ल्ड एंड giving salaries to the administrative setup that they maintained in India. Last is composition, means what are the commodities that were traded. Composition का मतलब है कितने commodity का trade होता था, कौन कौन से commodity का। So यहाँ से जैसे मैंने कहा था tea, jute, cotton, indigo, wool, all these things used to go, and in return we used to get light machinery, finished goods, synthetic fiber products, some made garments, not some made garments, rather fibers actually. Then kerosene. Kerosene was very rare. Kerosene मेरे से तो था ही नहीं, इकोनॉमी में बिल्कुल फ्यूल का इतना डर्थ था, नहीं था फ्यूल, that it was really very difficult to run an industry even one wants to start it. Okay, so this was the condition of foreign trade during the British period. The last thing we are going to do is the infrastructure. What was our infrastructural situation during the British rule? देखो, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर टू टाइप्स का होता है। एक होता है इकोनॉमिक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर जो तुरंत एकदम जीडीपी को बढ़ा दे। सो दोज इकोनॉमिक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर यूज्ड टू बी रोड्स, ब्रिजेस, फ्लाईओवर्स, ऑयल रिफाइनरीज, thermal power station which generates electricity, then steel, coal mining. These are the infrastructure जो तुरंत एकदम जीडीपी में कंट्रीब्यूट करता है, उसे कहते हैं इकोनॉमिक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर। और सोशल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर क्या है? हेल्थ एंड एजुकेशन। हेल्थ का तो कह दिया मैंने, 32 इयर्स डेमोग्राफिक प्रोफाइल में पढ़ चुके हो हेल्थ इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर। 32 years was the longevity, such was the bad condition of the people, and also education भी हमने देख लिया, 17% literacy with 16% overall literacy with only 7% female literacy. So that figures, social infrastructure figures were, I mean, wonderful. Okay, so basically sarcastically बोल रही हूँ, social infrastructure figures were so very much discouraging. Okay, now coming to infrastructure, if you have taken this particular working note, then we move on to infrastructure. क्या क्या है इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर? लेट्स सी। Roads. All weather roads were missing. The Britishers made strategic roads to take the raw materials out, to transport the raw materials out from the remotest part of the country. जो गांव-गांव में रास्ता, बिजली, ऐसा कुछ नहीं था, ठीक है? स्ट्रैटेजिक रोड्स था अपने ट्रूप्स, मतलब सोल्जर्स के मूवमेंट के लिए, जहां जहां जरूरी होगा, और जहां से ट्रक्स, ट्रेन्स भर भर के रेलवे ट्रैक्स और रोड्स में जहां जहां से वो रॉ मटेरियल्स उठाना है फ्रॉम द रिमोटेस्ट पार्ट ऑफ द कंट्री. रोड्स वर मेंट फॉर दैट. देन कम्स रेलवेज. Railways. Remember, the Britishers introduced railways in the year 1850. Now, when they introduced the railways in 1850, it was welcomed because people actually started traveling from one part of the country to other. So actually, it broke the geographical barrier, cultural barrier, because when they traveled from one part of the country to another, they got introduced to the culture of the another region of India. Social barrier because they could mingle with different people, but railways was most instrumental in bringing raw materials out from the remotest villages of India to the ports. जैसे कि DHR, you know, द दार्जिलिंग हिमालयन रेलवेज, उसका काम क्या था? आजकल लगता है टॉय ट्रेन चलने में बहुत अच्छा लगता है दार्जिलिंग में कि वो हेरिटेज है, हेरिटेज टॉय ट्रेन, पर वो था किस लिए? था तो ऊपर से पहाड़ से टी लीव्स को नीचे लाने के लिए. Deforestation in the hills was started by the Britishers in order to grow tea actually. So they used to bring down the tea by the DHR. So railways was instrumental in bringing raw materials, sending soldiers to different, you know, to the remotest part of the country. So as a result, that railways helped in bringing all the cash crops out from the different parts of India. So it killed the village self-sufficiency in food grains. Not only that, it promoted commercialization of agriculture, which in turn was again the reason for lack of food crops in the country, resulting in famines. So the economic loss brought about by railways much overshadowed the social gains of it. So at the end of the day, railways proved to be rather a curse for the Indian economy rather than a blessing. So here itself again is a 3-mark question which is going to ask you that economic loss of railways brought about was more than the social gains that came out of it. See the board, children? Working note. Okay? Next comes inland waterways. Inland waterways, Britishers made some canals only for the, you know, for inland navigation, but they did not turn out to be very profitable. So they were, you know, later on they remained unused actually. Okay. Then comes telegraphs. Telephone. You know, only few rich houses in the country, Indian houses I'm talking about, had telephones at that time. Rest, this telephone or the telegraph posts were actually used by the British to maintain the law and order for the communication. Okay, and last is the postal service. These are your one-liners. Okay, postal service obviously चिट्ठी आना जाना होता था, but it was severely inadequate. मतलब जितना population था उस हिसाब से postal service जो ब्रिटिश ने लॉन्च किया था, Indians used to get a letter probably posted 6 months ago. You know, when they used to get it, they used to find that even 6 months ago the post हुआ था. So basically postal service was very inadequate, did not help Indians much. And as a result, you know, if I summarize the entire infrastructure, this infrastructural development was meant for making the administration of the British easy in India. Never for any benefit of the people of India. You have to remember that. So after we study this entire chapter, all the the 6 parameters we use to discuss any economy, let us come to a conclusion that what were the negative impacts of the British rule? Obviously, semi-feudal economy, commercialization of agriculture. So many of the things were pretty bad. But there were also some good impact of the British rule. Not everything in life, you can say has only merits or only demerits. हमेशा things are mixed blessing. पूरा mix अगर ना हो, अगर blessing था कुछ 10% भी blessing था, तो फिर blessing था British rule का. वो क्या था? Number 1, commercialization of agriculture. देखो अब तक मैं commercialization of agriculture को कर्स कह रही थी, क्योंकि फूड क्रॉप्स नहीं बन पाया, famines हुआ, but also the farmers had a small training. That is, those farmers who could increase their production, use could transfer their food crops into cash crops. More or less, the farmers did not have any intention. They did not have resource, money, or they did not have any technology. They did not have any incentive to produce more crops or cash crops. More crops, if production ever increased in any region, was not because of the effort of the farmers, because more fallow land was brought under cultivation. But कमर्शियलाइजेशन ऑफ एग्रीकल्चर एक चीज सिखाया इंडियन फार्मर्स को कि सिर्फ खाने के लिए प्रोड्यूस नहीं करते हैं, बेचने के लिए भी करते हैं, हाथ में पैसा लाने के लिए भी फार्मिंग किया जा सकता है. दिस वॉज वन वंडरफुल लेसन दे गॉट. एंड नंबर 2, ब्रिटिशर्स गेव अस अ वेरी consolidated administrative system. नहीं तो उसके पहले before the Britishers actually took over the political system of the country and made us into a colony being ruled by the British Crown, कैसा था, the Mughals in the north, slowly gradually they are becoming weak. The southern states with different sets of rulers, eastern state different sets of rulers, all fighting with one another. Actually this is not a country which can survive for a long time. So basically this consolidated administrative setup, was actually the contribution of the British to India. So talking about the merits, demerits, as I told you, that we have to know our past to assess our present and plan for future. That is the reason why it is very essential for us to know what type of economy we inherited from the British government in 1947, so that in the next chapter I will be able to justify that after independence what type of economic system and policy measures the Indian government took in order to put the country on the trajectory of economic growth.
And for detailed explanation of the chapters, please follow my YouTube channel, the link given in the comment section, and press the WhatsApp button to get all the study materials, working notes, and detailed question banks topic-wise and sample papers for class 11th and 12th CBSE. Embark on the journey with me.